Thanks for coming, everybody. Very excited to see everyone. So I'm Seth Pringle, Director of the Claremont Lewis Museum of Art. Very excited to be hosting this exhibition of Julian Lucas's work and also this talk tonight. So this exhibition is supported by the Pasadena Art Alliance, so we're very grateful to them for making it happen. And it's been an honor to work with Julian on this exhibition in this semi-quincentennial year of the United States of America, this very poignant exhibition about home and the American dream. And I love Julian's approach to photography, and I'm very excited to hear more about the practice because photography is not just about framing an image, right? It's about the stories that are swirling around that moment that's captured in time, so which I think is really fascinating in these series featured in the exhibition. So I'm going to give you a little bit of information about Julian and then hand it off. So Julian Lucas is a contemporary artist based in Claremont, whose aim is to challenge social norms through his photographs that range from fine art to journalism, always true to analog techniques. In 2015, he founded Mirrored Society, a photo bookstore cherishing a worldwide collection of the finest photo books. In 2018, he launched Print Pomona Art Book Fair to host independent photo book publishers and sellers, later leading to the creation of the Pomonan, a digital platform for independent and censorship-free journalism. Join me in welcoming Julian Lucas.
Thank you. Thank you. I always want to do that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I'm Julian Lucas, photographer, writer in training. I'm not fully a writer yet, but I'm in training. And with that was inspired by Scott Soda, who's a writer. He's here in the audience. So yeah, Julian Lucas, born in Chicago, raised in Los Angeles, Inglewood, more specific, and then moved to Covina, California in 1987. Although I still went to school in Inglewood, it was a pain in the ass to wake up at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning to drive to Inglewood. I actually attended a K-8, so then after graduation, then I was able to go to Charter Oak High School, and that's actually where I learned the darkening process, kind of, sort of. Times were different back then, and I don't know if you guys heard other talks, but there wasn't there wasn't supervision, so really, actually there was absolutely no supervision in high school. So you're in the dark room, there's girls, and so yeah. And we know when somebody's coming because you gotta knock on the door before you open the door. So you don't, expose the paper. Orphan. And so after that, I graduated in 1992, and then that's me there. Without braids, with the curly top. Graduated in 1992, went to Citrus College, but didn't really go to class, just kind of shot dice in the student center. Sorry. Shot dice and gambled and that type of stuff. But I went to class enough to be able to go to Portland State. I was accepted there, transferred, and by 1995, but I've had like odd jobs here and there. And that's where I relearned the darkening process. This here, what you see is my dorm room, actually. I shot that in 96. 96. And these were my influences: Gordon Parks, The Invisible Man, and then that's Herb Ritz and Edward Weston. So those are my influences. When I went to the Portland Art Museum, Portland Library, I stumbled across the Herb Ritz book, and I saw that there was news. So I was kind of like fascinated, like, damn, they're naked and it's not like pornography and it's in the library. It's kind of weird. Right? So from there, I tried to do the same thing. Just kind of like emulating what I saw other photographers doing during the time. And so this is my image that I took in my dorm room. I couldn't afford studio lighting, of course, I'm a full-time student. So I used a desk lamp and a flash, the onboard flash, and I pointed it up so it can bounce off the white ceiling and then come down and make a beautiful image of a woman's body. But don't get me wrong, I'm not like the male gaze thing. So then I kind of got tired of, which is weird, right? You get tired of naked bodies. And it just became redundant. So I started photographing like portraiture. And this here is a portrait of my cousin. And this is actually, he lived right off the 10 freeway in West Covina. The gate's not there, it's a wall now, but you can see the freeway right there by his house. I think that's the Azusa exit, West Covina. And then I went back to nudes, late 90s. I always felt as though I always had a like this social commentary with news, right? Because I'm not documenting like I'm like capturing their need, not the background. So it's just more of like I guess it's just more nuanced in a sense. And again with desk lamp and flash, onboard flash. And then here, the fine art, nude, and social commentary. So when I photograph like documentary work, I always try to incorporate the fine art side of it. And not just like newspapery type of thing. I approach documentary photography through the fine art process while the subjects and events I photograph are real. I use composition, light, sequencing, and distillation to move beyond documentation towards interpretation. My goal is to create work that is both historically grounded and emotionally resonant. So as you can see, again, this is in Portland. The Burnside skate park, I'm not sure if anyone is familiar with that. It's well known. Skate park that skaters built without permission. Yeah, I wish they'd do that here. Like, we don't follow the rules. Stop following the rules. Just stop following the rules. So yeah, skaters built this without permission, and then the city actually recognized it as a skate park after a while. So it's been there since the early 90s, I believe. Early 90s. Here's my Portland.
Yeah.
My Portland friend here.
Yeah.
My Portland house.
I was going to ask you the same thing.
Okay, so we'll just say early 90s, no permission from the city. They got concrete from the people that were working on the freeways and built that skate park. There's actually a movie about it. It's actually filmed in Super 8 film, and it's like a documentary. And here we go we're moving forward. It's kind of like a timeline. So this is early 2000s. This is downtown Pomona on the west side of the park. Notice they don't have the numbers. It's just spelled out 2nd Street. Now it's the numbers there currently. And that building there is owned by the Tessiers, Artico. They made that into a loft. Artwork lived. You know, I'm dropping the Tessiers names. This is a protest back in 2003, anti-war during the Bush administration in Hollywood. And I believe Ashley Judd was the MC during that time. Funny thing is, I ran out of film that I was shooting in black and white, and I had no more film, so I went to this gas station. They actually had slide film. So whatever, $10, whatever, okay, cool. So the rest of the images were shot on color slide film. And this represents like Souls of War. Can't remember the actual name, but they weren't really yelling, they were just kind of like, moving slow. So yeah, Hollywood Boulevard, 2003. And like I said, I don't just photograph women, I also photograph men as well. So we can't say that I'm like on that male gazed. Just kidding. Yeah, I've just been fascinated with the body and how the body moves, how it contorts, the shapes of bodies. It's just fascinating to me. And I still kind of shoot nudes here and there, but more so documentary work, more journalism work. Any questions so far? Okay, cool.
So, I've got a simple one. It's real simple. Did you use just basic lighting on him as well, or did you have different needs for your?
That was actually natural light.
Natural light?
Yeah. So I photographed him in my house, and it's you add a front door and then a side door. So this is the side door, the light coming through, and I was able to control it with the curtain that I had put up. And then, once again, I was influenced by Gordon Parks and other photographers that documented like the civil rights era. So I saw this to be kind of like that civil rights. It gives you like a civil rights kind of. That's Ben Crump. He's a lawyer, civil rights lawyer, and this was in Pasadena. So once again, like the fine art, composition. So I have to work fast. Like I have to work so fast to get these images. You can see there's a little blur here, which is fine. Moving his hands when he's talking. I'm not really like an event photographer, but if the event has meaning, then I'll do it. And I try to, again, incorporate that fine art side. This is an African bath in the Pacific Ocean. So every year there's an event, and a friend of mine puts on an African bath, and I've photographed it the last 2-3 years. So I don't really show like the tents that are set up. Like I just can't stand like tents in my way. It drives me nuts. Yeah, that was driving me crazy. But it is what it is, right? Then we get to Pomona. Actually lived in Pomona for a long time, twice. The first time from, I think it was the late 90s, early 2000s to 2004. I left, I went back to Portland to finish school, but of course I didn't finish. I ended up working in the correctional field. I like to say the joint. I worked in the correctional field. I was a guard. But actually, while I was here, I worked with LA County probation kids and then was hired with Oregon Youth Authority. And then from there, adult prison. And so I was a lot bigger than this. I was buffed out and big. I couldn't run like most cops, right? But I always stayed connected to people that are, there's just a connection you have. I didn't go in with that attitude where you're like better than someone, you know what I mean? These people that are incarcerated, they're individuals and they have individual lives and we don't know where they come from. And so I was able to actually learn that while I was working there, like, oh, okay, I can understand why you have to do what you have to do to, it's complicated. It's very complicated. Even inside, it's its own little subculture where they have to do what they have to do in order to survive. And so, who am I to judge them on that, right? And then with Pomona, we've all heard Pomona could be this great city, right? And it was at one point in the 1950s. But, I don't want to get too political here, but I've always stayed connected to the streets, and that's with my upbringing, with my dad, who's pictured there, and he's holding me there. I've always stayed connected to the streets, although I always stayed connected with academia as well, and art, and that sort of thing. If that makes sense, I don't know if that makes sense. So this is Hope and Town Boulevard in front of the pawn shop. So I was walking up, I was crossing the street. He didn't really see me, wasn't really paying attention. But his music was turned down low just enough to hear me crank that film advance, and then click the button, and then he turned around like, what the fuck? He thought I was like popping a gun or something. Yeah, and so then we kind of laughed after. Yeah. So I've actually documented Pomona for since 2000, the early 2000s. I've documented. There's a break because I moved to Portland, but came back and continued. And I would come back frequently and photograph Hope at night. But, as you get older, you can't really I just don't have the patience, and I lose my mouthpiece. Like, no, I'm just photographing an artist, no. I just get tired of that. This is Hope again. Kind of political. I'm sure you guys seen this. Driving down Hope. So I brought a ballerina to Pomona. Kind of funny, right? It's kind of like I can't think of the category of photography this is, but
It's Fellini-esque.
Huh?
It's Fellini-esque.
Fellini-esque. Okay.
Surrealist.
Surrealist. That's what I was looking for. Yes. Yes. For surrealist. Yeah. So this is kind of like making fun of like the politicians there in Pomona. They know who I am and they know that I make fun of them. Like it's like why can't this be in Pomona, right? Like that's what I was trying to. Why can't we get something like why can't we get the ballet in Pomona? Why does it always have to be this? Why is that? That's what it's about. Same thing. A week before I photographed this, someone was a 15-year-old kid was killed in front of this apartment building. Yeah, crazy. So I placed her here. Then we get into home. A long way home. So for me, I've always been able to gain access into people's homes, and that's with respect and them understanding that I'm not there to hurt them or perpetuate that. Can't think of the word. But it's a good friend of mine. Her name is Kira. This is in Portland, Oregon. This is 2010, so we're like fast forwarding. Sorry, I only have like 90 minutes. I can keep going. So. Portland's actually also it's a different beast. It's not as conservative as California. It's very, 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 very liberal. It's like very liberal.
Keep Portland weird.
Keep Portland weird, exactly. That reminds me. If you've seen Portlandia, the music video, there's a guy that is in Speedos and blood. Actually, he was in a class of mine at Portland State in the 90s. And then the little person was actually my neighbor in the dorms. Yeah, I know all the weirdos. That's not what we're doing. I take photos of ballerinas in Pomona. I mean, absurd. Dominoes. So again, gaining access, having people trust me. Again, this is what I did in the student center at Citrus College. Played dominoes, shot guys. But I kind of went to class. Home again. Friend of mine.
Oh, wait a minute. Is that graffiti on the dress, or is that just how it's done?
No, it's how it
Oh, okay. Just curious.
This was the lady standing on the left was becoming a priest within the African culture. And they actually sacrificed a goat. This is Ranchos with the Money. Of all places, right?
It's an altar.
That's an altar. And we get to Exodus. And this is the house where I grew up in Chicago. Mid-century modern brick. So I was there back in 2020, I want to say 2023. I was there. After 20 years, I hadn't been back. So I went back to work on a photo series of all the places I've lived. And this is where I grew up. So it was mostly landscape and mundane type of work. And this is where my dad would take me. My mom hated it. She could not stand it. Where called it the pool room. It was a billiards place, and then next door was Club 421. So the billiards place was here, and Club 421 was here. That was, they called it a lounge, but it was a bar in West Coast terminology. So yeah, just going back, and this is on 63rd and King Drive in Chicago. It doesn't exist anymore. And these are my cousins. Vincent did, I want to say, I don't know, 100 years in prison. I have no idea, the guy here. And then my cousin Daryl, he's also an artist, and his work is actually hanging on the, in the living room there above the couch. So he was also an inspiration when I was a kid, when he'd come in and come from work or school or whatever, and he'd draw me and my sister and I draw us like the comic in a comic book way. He'd draw us real quick. So I think that might be it. Yeah, that's it. Q&A. Q&A. Yes, sir.
All other things being equal, do you prefer color or black and white?
I prefer black and white. However, color is easier to print. But I prefer black and white. Because it's black and white is timeless. You can photograph with black and white. You can take a photo with black and white and see someone with a cell phone, but you wouldn't know what era it was since, you know, cell phones came out some time ago. If that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, I'll speak a little louder. I could not help thinking of all your images, especially also in the beginning of the naked valleys, of landscapes. And I was thinking of dunes, because
Yes.
the rounding, the sharp edges of the white,
Right.
you know, I felt that in some way they were all landscapes.
Right. Yes. When I photograph the nude, I look for the shapes and the composition and that sort of thing. It's not about like, it's just about the shape, the texture of the body. Sometimes the images have, like a woman may have stretch marks. And I won't I don't like digital cameras. I don't like digital. I like film because it's like true. You can hold it, you can look through it. You can't hold a JPEG up and look at it. You know what I mean? Right. And so I appreciate the body for what it is. I don't care like Photoshop. Like, what are we doing? Why are we trying to make an image that's what it is? Why are we trying to?
But they're beautiful.
It's beautiful. Exactly. Yes.
Of all of the portrait sessions that you've done, are there any of those subjects that have really stayed with you over the years?
Absolutely. Let me go back. Kira, she stayed with me. So I've actually photographed her since 2007. So it'll be almost 20 years. I have 20 years of images of, she goes by Floofy, but yeah, 20 years or 19 years of Kira. Yes, sir.
So this show, when you had the opening exhibition, it really, like, the feeling of home is really powerful.
Yeah.
Really, like, grounded. What was your inspiration for centering everything around home?
So my inspiration in regards to home was, well, it's a photographer's dream to gain access. And that's like the number one, to just gain access into this world, right? as far as this series is concerned, I've been researching the Great Migration, and there's a movie called is it Us, or it's one of those? Yeah, but I don't think he did the where black people moved from the South to escape Jim Crow, and they moved from the South and went to Chicago, which my dad and his family was from Greenville, Mississippi, moved to Chicago to escape Jim Crow. And like you saw, my cousins are older. My dad was the older generation. My dad was the silent generation. He wasn't baby boomer. And so then people came from the South to places like California. But they settled in Watts and Compton and LA and that sort of thing. Inglewood was actually a suburb of white folks, until black people started moving in, and then there was white flight. And then what happened after that was the resources were stripped, and everybody has to survive, so you gotta sell dope, right, to survive. That's just what it is. And so now Inglewood has become gentrified, or when it's going back to where it was before. They put the stadium, the houses that are like so small, like they're over $1 million, that sort of thing. And so my research was more of like black people that moved from the inner city to places like Covina, Claremont, West Covina, Upland, and that hadn't really been documented. There was an influx of black people that moved in the late 80s and 90s. Even in the early 90s, a lot of black people moved from inner city to places like Covina and that sort of thing.
You mentioned Gordon Parks.
Gordon Parks.
And I wondered if you grew up with images, like Gordon Parks images and things that kind of built you up to what you are, or what you became.
Honestly, I didn't know about Gordon Parks until after college.
What made you pick up a camera in the first place?
I was forced to take photography in high school. Yeah. But then I saw that there was nothing but it was all girls, so I'm like, okay, perfect. It was like the gangbang era, not the 1990s, it was the cholas and cholos, and I was like, all the cholas like me. I don't know, like, you know, I'd walk out in the dark room with red lipstick all over. Just kidding.
Did you also like do stuff for the yearbook?
No, I've always wanted, like, I'd see like ads and like, when I was in college, I didn't do anything for a year. I was a jock, like, but I didn't hang around jocks. I couldn't stand jocks. I couldn't stand football players. It's just, I can't stand them. So I hung out with the weird kids and band and theater and all that stuff. I like weird. You know what I mean? Like, I played sports, but I'm gravitated over here with the weird kids.
Were you interested or aware at all of the Chicano mural movement that was,
I became aware of that in the 90s in Portland State, actually, not even in California.
Really?
Yeah. Because I was a part of like all these different, I was a part of the Black Student Union, kind of, and then I was a part of the Dementia Club also. And then that's when I learned a lot about the Chicano movement. Yep.
Can you talk about maybe where one thing blends into another, from documenting to activism to art? You could pick a photo of any of those categories that wouldn't fit into the other two.
Right.
Sometimes you have photos that fit all three.
Right. That's just kind of like, I guess that's my like ADHD. Just kidding. it's just an influence. Like, honestly, my dad had stacks of Playboy magazine, you know, I'm a little kid, you know. But to me, it was beautiful. Like, this is cool. It wasn't like, you know, a naked woman. And so to see that tastefully done by her Brits was like, I was just blown away by that, by, you know, the images that he photographed. And it wasn't in a studio, it was like always on location somewhere. But then it became redundant. Just another naked body, another naked body, another naked body. And so I wanted to, I guess as I matured, I guess I became more political as I matured. And so photography became, or the camera became a weapon for me. And that's why I piss off politicians, because it's like,
You're showing what they don't
I'm
want.
sure, exactly, I'm showing what they don't want to see. And if you don't like it, then fix it, you know? And it's period. Yes.
What would you say your practice is like day to day?
Oh, God, work. Practice day to day. Well, I always have a camera in the glove box. I have my point and shoot, and I always have film in it in my glove box. And I always have film, either under the chair so it doesn't get too hot. It'll get hot, but it doesn't get too hot to where it won't work. So that's a part of practice as well, always being ready. I'm getting a little older, so the bigger camera, I don't feel like doing a light meter and all that stuff. Yeah.
Is film harder to get?
No. There's a place in Montclair, Photo Factory, that's for emergencies only because it's expensive. And then Pasadena at Sammy's. And then Freestyle Photo in Hollywood, East Hollywood.
You still do all your own marketing?
Yes. So I still process all my film. So I have this canister sit here and shake the film, drives me crazy. There's the timer. And then once the film is processed, I'll cut it, put in sleeves, and with the little look at what I have. Oh, that's cool. And then print it out in the darkroom. I don't know if you guys had a chance to come up here. We got Domino's. Another Pomona. That's on the corner of East End and Hope. So again, I'm scared of with the camera. You know, I'm walking around. And then the ballerina. How come Pomona can't have ballerina?
Are the chemicals still available easily, or has rules about caustic materials and all of that affected what chemicals you can get?
No, it's still available. However, paper is like a carpet, so expensive. Yeah, it's expensive. It's gone up so much. Like 100 sheets of 60 by 20 is $400 and something dollars.
You printed everything in the show?
These
No.
These were printed on a printer, but they're out. They were shot on film, but printed on a printer. Yeah. There's always a time crunch, so you gotta cheat. Seth, I need those photos.
Of that
centerpiece?
Of the exhibition?
Yeah.
Oh, my mom's there right there. That's probably my favorite. That's her there. Well, underneath the screen.
Yeah.
And she's in the back there. That's me as a young child, and my sister and my mom.
Was your mom excited to be in the show?
Yeah, she didn't know what I was. My mom's hilarious. She did. My mom doesn't understand art, and so. But what do I wear? Just wear it. You know, that's it. Well, how is it gonna be?
But she understands life.
Yes.
And you can tell this is life.
This is life, exactly.
But she sang, didn't she? As her opening?
No, she didn't sing.
No,
Her choir sang at the opening. Yeah, I incorporated the choir because I was forced to go to church also. I didn't want to go to church, but I was forced. Sunday school, youth group on Wednesday, drive me crazy. Yeah. I'm an artist, like, and I don't even like saying I'm an artist. I don't really say that. Any more questions? Yes.
You mentioned at one point that you were learning to write. I wonder if you could say a little bit more about that. What do you like to write? How does that interrelate with photography?
So, I'm glad you asked that. With photography came the book fair. And with book fair came me reading. So I started reading. Just kidding. Just kidding. I love to read stuff that was real. My mom would always give me like novels and like Hardy Boys and Nancy. Like, it's fake as hell. You know what I mean? Like it's I don't want to read. You know what I mean? So I was interested more in magazines and that sort of thing, actual journalism. And so that really caught my eye. And then I would read, in Portland, I would read the Willamette Week, or Willamette Weekly, or Willamette Week. Willamette Week. And it was very political. It was like, oh, this is really cool, you know. And so, because they're actually like talking shit, you know what I mean? Like they're really talking shit. This is great. But I didn't have a voice, and there was no way, or maybe I just didn't know that I could write. But I would always see like hiring writers and journalists and that sort of thing, but I didn't do that. Like I wanted to, but I was too shy back then. I was very quiet. And I think that working in the group homes and the correctional field and that sort of thing kind of like brought that voice out of me. Because then I started observing, like, this is not right. This is just a bullshit. They're just warehousing kids and they're warehousing in bodies in prison. This is bullshit. You know what I mean? And I walked away from that. So I think that's where the writing came from. And then I print Pomona Art Book Fair at Pomona College. So that's where I started to like, is the word hone in, is that yeah. So that's where it came from. And then also battles on the Nextdoor app. I had all these battles and stuff. And it's like, fuck you guys. Who the fuck do you guys think you are? You know what I mean? Like that's so they actually like, it was like an influence. Like, okay, motherfuckers, I'm gonna fucking sorry. I'll have your app. Let's start writing. I'll talk about you, motherfucker. I just started writing the best way I could. And then what I would do is send it to my editor, Pamela Nagler, who was here, and she edited it for me. And I'm like, oh shit, I really did this. Okay, cool. And then I just kept going with it. It kept going and going and going and going. I like it better than photography. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, photography is gonna always be there. But the writing is just like, I really have a voice now. Well, I didn't have a voice back then. Even with the images, I just didn't have a voice.
So you have a Substack?
Yes.
That's another great place to.
Yeah, because the long form. Yeah.
What's your Substack called?
Julian __ Lucas. More questions?
Julian,
Yes.
can you talk more about writing online and like just online discourse? Because it just all seems so like, inhuman, you know? Like people just don't write like they don't communicate like they're communicating with other humans, and you're doing the component online, so I don't know, just you kind of watch that evolve.
So it's like slim to none. There is no public discourse. It's like where have we gone, you know, or where are we at in this in society? Like there's too much censorship. It's ridiculous. Like why can't we be able to have that public discourse and present facts? And you know, journalism is not what it used to be. You have Fox News and all these other just it's I don't know, it's like I don't even have words for it. I just don't like, it's too much censorship. It's way too much censorship. Even here, when I have the bookstore, censored, like it's art, it's photo books, and then, you know, somebody would say, be careful of what? Because you have nude on all, so what? So does, do they have live nude models at the college when you write, when you draw live, what's it called? Life drawing. Not Rhino Rec, but Video Parody still had non-rated films. So why do I need to be careful? Because it's a still image of a nude woman, like, or a nude man?
Julian, I told you before that I really liked the piece that you did on Jennifer Star. I thought it was a great read. And so this is more of a comment than a question, but it would be really, I would love to see you do that with other candidates, since we've got elections coming up, local elections, like, just
Nobody-
an idea.
I put it out there, nobody reaches out to me.
Because I thought she was really, I mean, I know her obviously, but like I told you, I felt that that piece was very real.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's a trust factor. Politicians just, and not Jennifer, but politicians are just so narrow-minded. They just, it's unreal. Like they're just so like, oh, well, he's this way, and then that's it. And it's like, well, no, I'm not. Like, I worked in the joint, but then also worked with autistic kids, so I have a heart. You know what I mean? Like I changed diapers, like a 16-year-old. So but that's the political culture. That's what it is, especially in the smaller towns here.
So then what is it that led to the piece with Jennifer? How do you build that trust? Is she a friend of yours? Or?
No, I mean, I've seen her here and there in passing. We've talked here in passing. I don't even really remember how we actually formally met. I think she may have been in Bunny Gunner during that time when he met, not Susie, the original owner. She was there one day and we talked a little bit. So, oh, you're Pamela Nagler's friend. Yeah. Oh, okay, cool. Then she, winked at me and walked out. And then I'm like, oh, okay, cool. She broke the ice. And I think that's what that was. But other politicians don't, you know, they just can't for the life of them, especially Pomona is like a different beast. It's like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, what's wrong with you guys? They're just so narrow-minded. Sorry. Not sorry. Any more questions? Yes.
So what does this exhibit mean to you? And what did it mean to other people that surprised you, and what is next for you?
What it meant for me was it meant the truth. It meant like, hey, we're here too, type of thing. Like, and from what I gather, people loved the exhibition. It was something different for Claremont. And I'm actually glad it was in Claremont because it's more open-minded here, in a sense, versus somewhere in another city where, oh no, we can't do that shit. You know what I mean? Like, sorry, Mom, I cussed out. She's gonna watch the video. Oh, are we streaming? Oh, okay, good. Edit that shit.
Don't forget what's next.
What's next?
What's next for you is my question.
Oh. I don't know. No, I do know. I already pitched it to Seth. He probably doesn't remember. No, it's not. It's not even controversial. But I'm glad this was actually here in Claremont because it gives an opportunity. It gave this breadth of work an opportunity to exist. The living room, do the right thing, playing on the TV. That's like controversial as hell. You know what I mean? That was like late '80s. So yeah, I appreciate that the Claremont Lewis Museum of Art allowed me to do this. I appreciate Seth for not censoring me.